but we gotta work to maybe retire. Man, you and all that bullshit, man.
As you can see here, this man is having a valid crash out. And I gotta say, I really do sympathize and empathize with his experience. I've been in that exact situation before. But your job, your life is a reflection of who you are. So if you're not willing to change anything about it, then nobody else will either.
What the f*** are we doing on this earth, man? Every day, most of us wake up and go to a job that we really don't like, but we can't really quit because we got to get the money to pay the bills that they say it's important to pay. What the f*** is the point of this life, man? We go to grocery stores and buy food that God gave us for free. Why the f*** do we pay for lights?
I don't like when people come with this premise that life is about working, life is about struggle, about hardship, about constantly doing things that you don't want to do, because that's simply not true. Life is about living. You have to accept the reality and so-called consequences of your decisions, and only then can you truly live the life that you want to live. Based on his frustration, I can tell you already that this man probably works at a warehouse, and I have experience with working in warehouses. I've worked for several different companies. I've worked 5 years in the warehouse industry, and let me tell you, that will drain you. That will take you away from yourself and make you do things that you never thought you were going to do to cope with the reality of living that type of life, especially if you're working long hours, 10, 12, 16-hour shifts, which I've worked in the past. Thankfully for me, I was going to school at the time. I was going to college. So I had something to look forward to besides just working those hours. But I know how soul crushing it could be. It could take away all ambition that you have because you know the next day and the next day and the next day you have to show up for your shift. And I'm telling you, when you're working those 12-hour shifts, those 312s or those 410s or whatever it is, there's a part of you that dies every single day that you show up for your shift, especially if you're working with people who don't do their job or management that's just full of shit. The one thing that kept me going is just knowing that I was going to school to become something more, to become something better. I knew I wasn't going to struggle and be in this situation forever. I knew it was only temporary. So the people I would talk to, my coworkers, my supervisors, I knew I was just going to have a small temporary relationship until I graduated college and moved on to do something bigger and better. That was always my mindset. But every now and then I would slip up myself and just lose faith, or I would be talking to a coworker and they would be down bad in this exact situation, losing their mind because they were showing up to work every single day, doing the same exact thing, getting paid just enough to take care of their bills, and they were just lost. They were stuck. I'll never forget it. There was one day I was at work when I was close to graduating from college, and I finally realized what was different between me and those people I see on social media flying to Dubai and all these other extravagant, luxurious places and living their life, and they're the same age as me. The difference was I wasn't willing to put myself in certain positions to achieve those opportunities. I wasn't pursuing my goal, my dreams, my purpose, my passion. At the end of the day, I was just going to work and then going to school. But then I realized not even what I was going to school for is something that I'm really passionate for. And then everything changed for me once I realized that. I was like, damn, I'm not even working towards what I really want to do in life, who I really want to become in life. Instead, I'm going to school and working because that's what society tells us. That's what my family, my friends, they look upon me and say, that's something good. You should be doing that. But no, I don't want to pursue any of this. And that's when everything changed for me and I started taking accountability for everything that happened in my life. And I mean, I was up until that point. But the point is, I wasn't pursuing my actual true purpose. I was doing something that was already pre-planned and a strategy that's used for the majority of people. But I didn't want to go to school for what I went to school for. I didn't want to work at this dead-end job. I wanted to actually sit down every day and pursue my passion and my purpose.
Well, that's just the way it is. F*** you. I'm tired of all this. That's just the way it is, bull. This whole system is garbage. America ain't nothing but a big-ass fucking plantation, man. A big-ass plantation. What the are we doing here? There are days I don't want to be on this earth. And I'm not saying I want to unalive myself and nothing like that. But I'm tired, man. It's like, what the is the point of any of this? To work till we 60, 70 years old? Most of us ain't gonna fucking live to see 50.
And that's the whole point right there. That is the reason why I'm making this video. A lot of us will dedicate huge chunks of our lives, 10, 20, 30 years worth of time pursuing absolutely nothing or things that we don't even want to do in life. It's not even related to our purpose in life. We need to understand right now, no matter what age you are, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, no matter what age you are, you need to understand what you are put on this planet to do. For some people, it comes natural to you. For others, you might have to discover yourself and understand yourself a little bit more to figure out what your purpose is. But I'm telling you right now, if you need to quit that job, in that relationship, stop going to school or start going to school for what you actually want to do in life, for something that you actually want to pursue, that's what you need to do. Because if not, you're going to end up like this man here who dreads every single day to go to his job. I'll never forget this old cat that I met, Unc. He was probably 55. You know, when you work a warehouse job, there's always older people that work these jobs as well. You know, they don't have any money in savings or retirement or anything like that, so they have to work. He told me at the age of 55 that he was pretty much done and set for life. There's nothing more that he wants out of life. He can't see himself living past another 10, 15 years. He was basically just confessing to me that he's giving up. And this is all he got, this warehouse job and basically a struggle apartment. I understand that's his life and that's what he believes in. But I got frustrated when he told me that because at the young age of 55, in my opinion, there's no way you should be canceling out life and saying, you know what, I'm just going to coast the rest of my life because I'm almost on my way up out of here. That's not true. 55 is the new 35. I told him, I was like, you need to get in the gym, take care of yourself. If you really step up, you can become a manager at this job. I was telling him all these different things and putting all these ideas into his head. And he told me, he was like, you know, no one has ever told me that before, and I really appreciate it. In my head, it was only logical. I told him it's only going to take a year, maybe 2 years at max, to get into shape, change your life forever, start taking classes, or start pursuing something you want to really do, electrician, plumbing, or if you want to do content creation or anything that your mind can fathom, you can do it within 2 years span if you dedicate yourself to it. Of course, you're going to need money to pay for bills, to pay for your apartment, your car, all that. That's fine. Work your part-time job, work 8 hours a day, whatever, and spend another 4 hours a day dedicated to your craft, to your purpose. You can change your life in less than a year if you're really dedicated and obsessed with your mission. A lot of us think that we don't have time to do what we need to do, but we really do. Most of the time we want to cope with the stress of our job and we think that takes all day, laying around or just watching TV, watching movies, screwing off and wasting time. No, when you're not working, you need to be working on your purpose, and that will get you out of that struggle, out of that entry-level job that you also want to quit, just like this man here.
But we gotta work to maybe retire. Man, you and all that bullshit, man. I don't give a about who president, left, right, and all this dumbass. I'm tired of this whole game, man. It's a big ass game. It's a big ass charade. America is a fucking plantation. I don't give a what nobody got to say about it, man. This is exhausting. Like, I don't even want to look for another job. I'm gonna walk in there. They gonna ask me, why do you even want this job? Bitch, because I need some money to pay the bills that they tell me is important to pay. The fuck out of here, man.
Not everyone has to achieve the world. Not everyone has to become a millionaire or a billionaire, a content creator, or somebody who's rich and famous. At the end of the day, as a single individual person, you should strive to just be fulfilled at your job, because you don't want to end up as someone who's resentful and has vitriol for where they work or with the people that they work for. I mean, that's just bad on the soul, on the body, stress-wise. So that's something that you really wouldn't want to do to begin with. And like I said earlier, the fact that he said he doesn't even want to look for another job, that's a reflection on who he is as a person. He's willing to put in the work and grind his ass off, and when there's no payoff, he's mad at the system when he should be mad at himself. He should have said, I shouldn't have been doing this shit for the wage that I'm getting paid, so I need to leave. But instead, he's willing to stay, grind it out, because he thinks his time invested into the company, into the job, is going to grant him more money or more fulfillment. And that's not the way that it works. He's going by the sunken cost fallacy, where you think you invest so much time in something and so you should just ride it out, stick it out because, hey, I've been doing this so long, this is all I know. Just like a relationship, you should never do something like that. As soon as something bad or as soon as something proves itself to be unworthy of your attention or your need to continue within it, then it's time to leave. If this dude was feeling this way a long time, he should have been gone and quit that damn job, because I know for damn sure he suffered in ways that we can't even understand mentally because of what he's continuing to put himself through. Strive to live a life that you actually want to live. You need to pursue your purpose instead of being told what your purpose is. Always remember that the majority of people are fulfilled at their jobs. They might wish they were doing something else, but they're not crashing out on a daily basis like this guy is. Most of us have tolerated a job knowing that we're going to get a paycheck at the end of the week or every 2 weeks. And we're like, well, this is temporary. I could do it until then. But if you're crashing out, if you hate going to work, if you dread going to work, you need to quit that job immediately. There is no mass exodus or epidemic of people leaving their jobs. I know there was quiet quitting around COVID time, but that was around COVID time. That was a whole different world. So remember, you need to fight for what you deserve and go take it. Power isn't given, it's taken. If you think you should be this rich celebrity, content creator, or a famous singer, or you should be an athlete, yada yada, whatever it is that you want to do, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, go pursue it. Don't wait around until somebody gives you the opportunity. You're going to have to go take it yourself. You're going to have to do whatever is necessary in order to get it. And usually it starts with obsession. If you want to do something so bad, you need to become obsessed about it and you need to sacrifice for it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.